Guys, it's finally here. It finally happened. Colin and Daisy kissed, and it did not disappoint. Oh my god, what a fun twist to the end of an episode that I was just like really over Gary, and it was just the perfect time for Colin to swoop in. He's always stirring the pot, and we love that for him. I'm here to break down what's really going on with Colin, Gary, and Daisy, because as you guys know, we talked about it, there's a love triangle going on, but these post-season posts on social media have gotten pretty interesting, so I want to kind of break down the timeline for you guys so that you understand kind of what went down, and then I'm going to speculate wildly based on some social media movement and happenings, including the fact that Colin and Daisy have unfollowed each other and what that could mean for the rest of the season of Below Deck Sailing Yacht Season 4. So to give you some background on kind of how we ended up here in this love triangle, last season, Season 3, Gary and Daisy prior in Season 2 and Season 3 kind of had a lot of tension, but it was because they just bickered all the time. They were kind of more like an old couple because they were both heads of their department. They really didn't have each other's backs in a lot of ways, mainly Gary. He kind of always threw Daisy under the bus, and as we can see in Season 4, that doesn't really change for Gary. So, I don't know what it is, the men on Bravo. I don't know who casts these guys, but it's an art to find literally the worst men. I mean, you do it show after show. I mean, I don't know if that's like an Emmy award. I don't know what it is, but you deserve it, casting director for Below Deck, because, man, these men, they have the problems. So, at the very end of last season, Season 3, Gary and Daisy share a drunk kiss, make-out sesh that definitely indicated that there was a lot more coming for these two, and we all kind of loved it. I mean, if you go back on my Instagram feed on Below Bravo, I mean, I'm firing off hits about how much I wanted Daisy to happen. And so, yeah, I think we all kind of wanted it, and we were all seeing growth for Gary. He finally came around to the fact that Daisy is just a badass, great chick. Like, this is a way out of his league kind of gal, and we loved it, and we were cheering it on. And then during the off season, I thought I remembered some back and forth with Daisy and Colin spending a lot of time, so I went back to break it down for a timeline. So the season for Season 3 had finished. Then they shot this past season during June through to late July, August. So with that, you have things like BravoCon in the fall, where we know Daisy and Gary both went, but we also know, thanks to Watch What Happens Live, that Gary told Andy that he did hook up with some Real Housewives assistant or something like that. So clearly they were not a thing during that event. It had clearly tapered off since then. But you know what they don't talk about happened between filming the season and BravoCon? Colin and Daisy both went to LA to visit their friend Chef Marcos, who we love, and they spent a lot of time together. They went on this whole motorcycle up the coast kind of day trip. They spent a lot of time together, and they were really cuddled up real close. And what's funny to me is, after realizing that they unfollowed each other, I went back to see what Daisy's posts were, and it appears that those posts of them hanging out together during that trip are mysteriously missing. But thanks, Colin, your posts are still visible. And I mean, maybe Daisy just posted things on her stories or something like that, but here's what I know. She did keep one of the motorcycle shots that was like an advertisement for sunscreen or something like that up. We get it. Get your bag. Get that cash, girl. We love that for you. But Colin kept the pictures of them together up on their little trip in LA that led up to BravoCon. We also see in some background pics from BravoCon that Colin was obviously around. We know that he just did his big epic crossing across the Pacific, I believe, and he's wrapping that up now. And we know he's an adventurer, right? He has his own boat, he has his own crew, he's definitely a wanderer. He's not one to stay in one place, and we know that Daisy, although she's in yachting, she does travel from here and there, but she is mostly, located in Europe, and so we get that, like, neither of these hypothetical couples could really work out unless they actually were in the same place at the same time. But isn't it interesting that there are no more pictures of them together on social, and now they don't follow each other anymore? So here's what I think happened. I think there's a lot more behind this kiss than just them suddenly at the end of a night getting together after pranking and picking on Gary. They just look at each other and kiss. You're telling me that that was their first kiss? No. There's history there. So my guess is that that trip in LA connected them in a new, deeper way, and that something happened at that point that had Daisy and Colin starting to look at each other a little differently. So whether they had maybe kissed or hooked up back then after wrapping the prior season, whatever it was, by the time they went to film season 4, there's something brewing with Colin and Daisy, and I definitely think that maybe there were things that the producers did not catch. And hey, love you, Bravo producers, but you did miss another big scandal this year with Scandival on film. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. That's another video for another time. But it is possible to believe that they could have just been texting and connecting, and there may have been something that was just not caught by the producers that just totally flew under the radar. So many people, same formula as Scandival, so many people are over here focused on a will they, won't they situation with Gary and Daisy that they just totally miss that she has a lot of chemistry and that same kind of bickering, pushy, argumentative tension with Colin. And for a point in Colin's category, he has saved the boat like 6 times already this season. So he played the guitar that night prior for the guests. I mean, really, he was checking the boxes while Gary was being an absolute thirst trap for Mads. Can't think of anything more ick than how Gary was acting towards Mads. I'm really interested to see how Mads responds to him, whether she shuts it down finally with Gary, because he just wants his cake and wants to eat it too, and it's getting exhausting. It's like, I get Daisy's side 100%. Neither of these guys are really 100% all in on her, but they don't want her to be with anyone else, and that's not fair. It's 2023, girls rule, boys drool, and yeah, I think I'm Team Colin, and I really hope they work things out. I do think this trio with Gary, Daisy, and Colin, the saddest part about this being a little love triangle is that they may not want to work together in the future, so I hope that whatever this is, they can become closer. And I mean, hey, I kind of wish that a couple would emerge from this victorious, but I guess we just have to tune in this season to take a look. Whose side are you on? Are you Team Gary? Are you Team Colin? Or are you just like, I want everybody to have a good time? Tell me in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories on how this all started brewing up. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.